She was telling me that she got divorced. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. I could tell that she's regretting it because what she thought she wanted is not what she thought she wanted.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I am back again with another video. Of course, I saw this video in the one and only place, the wonderful world of TikTok, and I was like, I have to bring it to you guys so we can talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and press play, pause, play, give you guys my thoughts and opinions on this entire situation.
So recently, I caught up with an old friend, and she was telling me that she got divorced. And I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple, and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids, and I just got lonely and bored.
Only reason I'm stopping right here is because this is the number one reason why a lot of women walk away from beautiful, amazing, inspiring relationships. Okay, the number one consensus from a lot of these women is because they are bored, because the spark is gone, because the fire is gone. And more and more women are going to start to realize that, number one, you as a woman are in charge of that spark in your relationship, right? Because men are reciprocal, they reciprocate energy. And 2, that whenever you go over there and you look over that fence, ain't gonna be no grass. Okay, they think and they believe the grass is greener on the other side. They get a bench, look over the fence, it's dust. Okay, it's dirt, it's rocks over there.
And she says that when she would bring it up, like, he would take her out, but it was just boring to her. Like, she needed some excitement in her life. She just felt like she was just a mom and a wife, and her husband just wasn't doing that for her. And she had other friends that had, boyfriends, or like they had just got married, and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that.
This is the same thing that happened with Tia's situation. Okay, nobody can't tell me no different. This is what a lot of these women do. They go ahead, they're already married. They have their own lives together. They have, what people are striving for is a commitment, somebody to give you the highest honor of making you a wife, making you a mother. They're in those situations, and then they go back and they watch their single friends. It's just like when, people who they wish they could get this certain career, and they will dedicate their life to it, and then they get into the career, and then they go back and reflect on the times when they had the other job that was easier, even though it was less like it's just that feeling of never being satisfied. So she's watching her single friends who don't have any commitment, who have superficial relationships. They're taking vacation. They don't have any kids, whatever it is. And they're being influenced by all these other women. Hence the rhetoric of women keeping women single. That didn't come out of thin air.
And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, they had a big house. They had nice things. Like, he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced. And now, she's single. She lives alone. She's working. And she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club. They just want to go to the bar. They just want to hang out.
Isn't that what you wanted? Again, never satisfied. Never satisfied. Because isn't that exactly what you wanted? You wanted to have fun because you were lacking fun. You had everything else. You had somebody who was providing for you, was paying, he can't go out and hang out with you all the time because he got to pay the mortgage. Okay? While you are at home bored, not getting no hobby, not in the gym, not trying to elevate yourself on your own, he was going to work. Okay, now you say that you were lacking the fun, you were lacking the excitement out of the relationship. You decide that you're going to, take a step back and go and be out there in these streets. And now they're looking at you as a sneaky link. Okay, they're looking at you as a fun time. Not someone they want to invest their time into, not somebody that they want to invest their funds into, not somebody that they want to build with. You are a fun time for the moment. It is, you do not belong to him. He's just looking at it as it's his turn. And now, all of a sudden, you're miserable again. So that would, anybody with logical thinking would rewind the clock and realize you're the one who was the problem. It wasn't your husband. It wasn't your lifestyle. It was always you.
Have a good time, and then that's it. She said no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider.
You had that. You had somebody to take care of your kids. And the reason why he had no problem taking care of your kids, because they were his kids too. The reason why he had no problem providing for you and for your kids is because they were his kids too, and you were his responsibility. Now you're out there.
Not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing? And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. She has 2 kids, and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her. Like, the girl doesn't work. She's a stay-at-home mom. They haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids. And she's pissed because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try.
This is the harsh reality for a lot of women. I've said this for years. When a woman leaves a relationship, it's all, fun, fine, and dandy at the beginning. It seems like, she's the one who's living it up. Oh, yeah, I've relinquished my energy from this man. I'm so done. I'm so good. Finally free again. The streets are glad to have me back. Like, they go on this spree of how, they are welcomed with open arms to the streets, and that they've have all of this freedom, and people are so excited to welcome them back. And that they were like basically in bondage in whatever situation it is. That's all how it always plays out in the beginning. The man usually, bows out gracefully. The rug was slipped from under his feet. He probably didn't even know that they were having, problems to the magnitude of a divorce being a possibility in the situation. Decides to say, okay, cool. This is what the situation is. Let me go ahead and move on. Like I said, bow out gracefully. The man always ends up finding somebody. Okay, especially because he is providing. He is obviously successful in whatever kind of business it is that he's doing. He's more than capable. He found somebody who was willing, wanted to be with him, saw him as, the best thing since sliced bread. Obviously, that person, who was in whatever situation that they were in, we don't know what the reason was for her leaving that situation. She hit the jackpot. Okay, because she went from whatever this man's current wife is looking for in her situation, that new woman found it and is not gonna let go, give it up for nothing. And now here you are, it was your idea, and you've given somebody else the opportunity that you are now looking for, which you already had. Women do it all the time.
Like, blah blah blah. And I was so confused because I was like, okay, so you divorced him because he was always working and you were bored. So now you're single, going out, having a good time, dating, but you don't like that. Now you want someone to take care of you, a provider. And your ex-husband, all he wanted to do was be a provider. That's why now he is dating someone who he has no problem providing for her and her kids. And she's pissed because she's like, why would he go and find someone who has kids? Like, he already has kids. Why would he want to take on that responsibility? And I'm like, wait, aren't you looking for someone to take on that responsibility? I was just giving her a hard time, not gonna lie, because it was kind of funny to me, because I was like, I could tell that she regretted her decision. I could tell. And I've seen a lot of people do like this, where they get divorced for reasons that are not, I'm not going to say they're not valid, because everybody's feelings are valid, but they're fixable problems.
They're not valid. It's not valid. Means of divorce. Let's talk about this for a second. Means of divorce. Somebody who is physically harming you. Okay, in my opinion, 100% that's grounds for divorce, because you don't ever know what the limit could be, or the time that could be when something could go haywire, and that could be it. So I 100% hands down. Um, when it comes to somebody having issues with substances or whatever, again, something that could still be worked through, but is also an understandable thing, because sometimes when people are in certain predicaments, it causes them to then attach themselves to other behaviors that makes them untrustworthy and stuff like that. Again, fixable still for some people, but completely understandable. Infidelity, even. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. Fixable, very, very fixable. But you have to know what you can handle, right? And so somebody who's saying like 10 toes down, they cannot handle that emotionally or whatever, alley, and they are also not bringing that to the table, somewhat understandable still, okay? Again, seems fixable, in my personal opinion, understandable. But because you're bored, because the spark is gone, because he don't buy you flowers and get you flowers when, and you shouldn't have to say anything about it, because you have gotten into the monotony of life, that's foolishness to me. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That's foolishness. Because a lot of times the women who get bored in these relationships, one, they either have somebody on the side, out there who they want to venture off to, so they want to be freed because they think that that's a better situation, and they always, more times than not, end up finding out that that's not their reality. That's one. Two, they are in a predicament where they are around other people who are living a certain lifestyle, and they are jealous, and they also want to live that certain lifestyle. So again, they want to be relinquished from the bondage of this situation so that they can go out and be free too. Or they're women who can't be pleased in any facet. It's never enough for them. It's never good enough for them. They're never satisfied. And the problem, lies within themselves of, again, not being satisfied. It's never enough. She was in the marriage, had a provider, had somebody that was responsible for her, taking care of her kids, who put their best foot forward. She would bring up situations where she was not satisfied within the marriage, and he would still try to do that with her while still balancing, him being able to provide for the family and making money for them. Wasn't good enough. She wasn't happy. Spark was gone. Now she out there in the streets where she wanted to be. Divorced the husband because that's what she wanted. Got everything she wanted out of the situation. Now she's still not happy. Again, the problem lies with you.
It's like, I don't know if you guys have this wrong idea of marriage that is supposed to be like fun and happy all the time. It's not. I feel like every relationship literally depends on compromise. Like, you gotta compromise something. You cannot have everything. And to be honest with you, like, if she was willing to give up on him that quick, like, maybe she just didn't love him that much.
Nah, she just saw some prospects that she wanted to indulge in, and so she just needed a reason. Right? She had these thoughts maybe brewing for a little bit, but also, you're a married woman hanging out with single women, and you are the company you keep, or you become the company you keep. So obviously, that's where she wanted to be. That's where her heart resided in. Maybe she did love him at some point, but she thought, again, that she could replicate that situation again with somebody else, and that, there's good, better, best. He was her best, but she thought that maybe he was just at the good level. Again, because a lot of people are not able to be as self-aware. And I think that, one thing that she said is that you can't have everything. That's just something I don't agree. I don't agree with the sentiments of you can't have everything. I believe that you can have what you are willing to create, what you are willing to facilitate. If you're not willing to put the work in through ebbs and flows of a relationship, then you are going to get whatever cards are dealt. But if you are actively putting the work in, if you are actively trying, even just for yourself, trying to build yourself to be the best version of yourself so you can present that to your partner, then you're going to get whatever, right? It's just like somebody who just eats whatever they want and they don't go to the gym. How are you going to have the best body? Like, you're not willing to put the work in, so you're going to get whatever out of the situation. It's very different than when you're, stuck to nutrition, you're going to the gym, you're trying your best. You get what I'm saying?
Because I cannot even imagine just me being like, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna divorce my husband, like, no, you figure it out, you work it out. But I could tell that she's regretting it, because what she thought she wanted is not what she thought she wanted.
100%. No, it's not what she thought she wanted. It's not what she thought she wanted. What she thought was out there ain't out there. And if they are out there, they're not checking for her in the way that she thought that they were going to be checking for her. Again, good, better, best. She's now realizing that the best was what she already was in a relationship with. And now she's trying to, villainize this man for not taking her back. And why should he, ma'am? You the one who said, this man said, you don't have to tell me more than one time you don't want me. Now he found somebody and he's in a situation that's comfortable to him, and that's what he's going to do. And now you out there, hopefully you don't become bitter now and try to turn the kids against a man because you're not getting what you want out of the situation. You mad he's going to take you back, hopefully. Okay, hopefully, because that's usually how the playbook, pans out. But this is a lot of the women's reality. And this is why, even with my platform here, I have so many women who message me or whatever. And they're like, hey, the people around me were giving me terrible advice and were not being real with me. And I was on the verge of ruining my relationship and being out here in the streets vulnerable, okay, by myself. And because of friends like this woman, right, who's like exposing it to her, she should have called her before she decided to make those decisions. Because maybe having wise counsel as a friend who's also married would have assisted her in maintaining that relationship instead of hanging out with single homegirls that just got a boyfriend. Done tricked you into treating your marriage like a regular boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Foolishness. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this entire situation. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.